Good evening, coin community, and welcome to yet another Coins AMA. For today, I guess you can call it Coin Community Thursdays, and on today's agenda, we'll be talking about leveling up Web3 gamers' crypto skill set with Phee Tejada and Boolzi, our own coins champion. Don't forget that every AMA, we take community questions straight from our FB Live or our X, wherever you're watching from. And if your question is chosen for our guests for tonight, you will be receiving cash prizes sent straight to your coins wallets. Now, this episode tonight, shout out sa mga gamers natin, lalo na sa mga members ng guilds. Kasi alam namin na karamihan ng mga nanonood dito sa ating coins live streams are from our gaming communities. And we're sure that a lot of our viewers, they also want to learn how to level up yung kanilang skill set, not just in video games, not just sa crypto, but in rin sa life experiences din nila. So we hope that our AMA from Fee and from Boolzi will help you guys learn more para you can level up your own crypto skill set. Now, I'd like to bring up our guests on stage. And first, siguro, I'd like to start with our own coins champion. So, Boolzi, good evening. Happy first day. How are you doing on this fine first day evening, sir?
Hey, thank you, Sir Japa, for having me here in Community Thursday. It's really a pleasure for me to be here and to talk about Web3 gaming.
Ayan, so Boolzi siguro for our first time viewers, no, so first time mo din to join us for an AMA. Maybe you can give the audience siguro a bit more about yourself, introduce yourself to our audience for tonight.
Yes po. Hello guys, I'm Boolzi. I'm a Coins Champion and Silpy Guild Ambassador, and I'm also a Web3 gamer and a content creator at Silpy, and I love to play games then, and ano sa coins.ph me nagse-serve as coins champ.
All right. So, Buzi, thank you so much. Looking forward to hearing your insights also as one of our members of the community, but also because you're one of our ambassadors and champions. So, we'll get to that in a while. And I'd also like to bring up on stage our second guest for tonight. So, good evening, Fee. He does business development at YGG Pilipinas. Thank you for making time for us tonight, Fee. How are you doing?
Hey guys, good evening. Good, yeah. Thank you so much for inviting me here. I think this is the first, no, appearing in Coin's page. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Fee. And yes, I'm excited to hear insights from the both of you guys on how we can level up our community members' crypto skill sets. No, because I'm sure a lot of people are looking to grind out not just games but also opportunities in the space. No, so I guess let's kick our AMA right off. No, so siguro can have Boolzi and then Fee to give for the answers for the AMA. So our first question for the both of you so how is the grind, in Web3 games different from traditional gaming? And how can gamers prepare, mentally? Because I'm sure there's a big mental shift that happens when it comes to traditional versus Web3 games. So siguro, Bulzi, ikaw mauna. I'd like to hear your insight on how do Web3 games, paano sila nagkakaiba dun sa mga traditional games natin?
I think the difference of Web3 games into our traditional game is Web3 games is more on long term, which is long term grinding, and the the assets that you can get from Web3 is tradable. Yeah. And you can own the assets since it's NFTs, it's tokens, and I think the difference of that from traditional gaming. Kasi ang traditional gaming is, let's call it Web2, and it's more like um pampalipas oras or something like parang passion or gustong laruin, etc. So uh, mas seryoso sa Web3, mas more on career base, which is hindi lang siya puro games, which is yung binibuild mo kasi is yung identity mo as a gamer in Web3. And by the games you play and by the contents or something that you excelled on, dun ka makikilala. Ayun.
All right, thank you, Booz. Yes, agree. I think ownership and identity are big. No, they go hand in hand. Yung assets that you own sa games, but also since personal brand is also something that you can build up dito sa space na to. So Boolzi, thank you for that. Siguro if I'd also like to ask you, so um, how do the Web3 game grind, how does it differ from the traditional games?
I think it depends on what context, no. If we're talking about just gaming experience, I think there really isn't much of like a difference because anyway we're playing games. Maybe the only thing that's different with Web3 gaming is that there's for starter, no, there's a lot of hand holding, there's education that requires it. You need to get to know a lot of like, platforms, a lot of like new concepts, several technologies as well that you need to learn since this comes with, blockchain, Web3, NFT, no. So maybe that's the only thing that's really different. And I think right now in Web3 gaming, we're still in early stage, no? So marami sa mga games natin na hindi pa ganun ka, and a lot of the game developers are continuously still building them, which is a good thing as well at the same time, because then there's higher opportunity for players like us, to really participate in terms of further building, the game. And that's the ethos, the demand of Web3, right? Really putting the community at first, no? Whenever we build something. So basically, yun lang naman siya. It's still the same games, casual, hyper casual, FPS, and more RPG. Just that it's early stage at the moment. There's sense of ownership, just like what Wozy mentioned, and there's education comes with it first.
Awesome. Yes, education and community are so important, especially in Web3, where learning together is one of the things that I guess is a result of the space being more decentralized and community oriented. So you learn, the games together, the tech together. So Fee, thank you for that. I guess for my next question, I'll bring Boozy back up on stage. So Boozy, second question. What advice would you give to a skilled gamer who's curious about Web3, but they don't know, they're unsure about where to start?
So first of all, those who will start in Web3 as a gamer will need to have or find some Web3 communities out there in order to help you or to nurture you. For example, just in Silpy, we help nurture gamers in esports and in content creation in all Web3 aspects. So that's my example. And also engagement is a must because it is important to engage with other communities also because it can help you learn and grow. And as I said earlier, Web3 gaming is not all about gaming and it's about the gamer's passion which we will amplify by making it out in a living. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Woozy. How about you, Fee? I guess if you have someone who's a
Um,
skilled gamer, yeah.
Yeah, I think to really start it now is by playing the games. I think that's the first step that we should do. Try out the games that are available there. See what's something that would work for you. Unfortunately, right now, especially for pro players and web tour skill players, there aren't much of like games that are ready. In terms of like esports, there are actually several. One is Parallel, for example, X Infinity, two of which are we've done big tournaments in the Philippines with 100,000 USD prize pool in the last couple of years now. So it's really finding first what type of game that you want to play and be really good at. And then second would be just like what Boolzi mentioned, no? It's really finding some friends or communities that you can trust can help you like navigate the space. No? So I think those are really things that we need to look into. Also, again, though, let's go back to education. There's a lot of education that comes with it, especially in the space right now. No, there's still some, bad actors, and also, projects that may not be, as good for the rest of like our community members. It's always good to be vigilant about those. Do your own research. But again, no, finding community, finding leaders that you can trust that can help you navigate it is actually very important for someone to look into, no, especially if they're still starting.
Awesome. I agree. Community and education is really the core of a lot of our initiatives here, especially on the AME that we're hosting right now. No? So Fee, thank you so much. I guess back to you, Boolzi. My next question, I want to talk also about building real world skills through Web3 gaming. So maybe for some of our audience members, what tips would you give to those Web3 gamers who want to turn their passion into a portfolio and something that they can eventually showcase or monetize and help build maybe even a career out of?
So my tips would give to Web3 gamers is um, when you play for a cause. It's not just about you play games because you want to. You play games because you want to build something that can impact the Web3 space or the community. So as for me, I would like to give some tips about about the gaming passion, which is you need to expand more than gaming. About it's not all about gaming. There's some opportunities out there that you need to grasp in order to grow. Yeah. In Web3 gaming industry, it's hard to cling only for just gaming. You need to be flexible. You need to adapt more and learn more. As Sir P said that education is a must. And I also believe that is.
All right. Thank you, Bluesy. And Fee, how about you? Maybe to your members from like
Mm.
YGG. Tips for them also.
Yeah, actually, this is a good question, no? Kasi parang, again, let's go back to the stereotype when you're playing games in the Philippines na parang kaka-computer mo yan, di ba? Walang mapapala sa paglalaro ng mga games, no? Although that's somehow like a fact, no, there are other people na lost track talaga in life by just playing games. But the beauty about Web3 gaming now is that it unlocks a lot of opportunities within the gaming industry. So apart from just playing games, you can now be a game tester. No, you can now be a content creator. You can now be an esports player. You can now be a community manager for a specific game or a Discord moderator for a specific game, while still being true and still do the things that matter to you, which is playing games. No? So I think those are things that you can look into in terms of how else you can monetize your skills in gaming, how else you can monetize your passion for gaming, no? And really acquire those skills. So for example, in YGG, we do have this what we call the Marshals program under the Metaversity. So what we do there is actually we upskill our community members to be a high value profile. So what does that mean? We teach them practical skills around again content creation, community management. So that way, while they are playing games, no, they can do other stuff that's more sustainable for them as well. That will also help them, augment their income, no. And I think that's something that everyone can look into right now. And just to plug, we're actually launching our Marshall program in the next coming weeks. It's an 8-week class under YGG, no? And there's a lot of things that you guys can learn from there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Fee. And yes, so do check out the Marshals program. And a lot of our own coins champions also are from the Marshals program. So shout out to all of our champs, also coin unity members who are Marshals and future Marshals as well. So thanks for that, Fee. And I guess back to you, Boozy. My next question is, so maybe how can Web3 gamers turn their gaming hours into opportunities for growth, earnings, or even leadership roles, just like yours, in our own community?
Web3 gamers turn their gaming hours into opportunities. I think by participating on um, games or some activations, game nights, or events inside the Web3 community. So just like YGG and Silpi, there's some events happening in the space. So it just not about the it's just not about the event, but the ones that you will get in that, because um you're building something. You're turning your gaming hours into opportunities. So the opportunities here is to learn and to build a career. And how can you build the career? So we need to we need to gather some skills. Kailangan natin kumbaga um mag-grow talaga, and humanap pa ng kumbaga matututunan pa natin, ayan.
All right, Boozy, thank you so much. So yeah, showing up to your events, your game nights, I think is also a good way to get exposure, no, to these different communities. So I guess, so thanks, Boozy. How about you, Fee? Siguro, tips for the gamers, how they can turn the hours they put in into more opportunities para sa kanila.
Yeah, actually, I'm just gonna really echo what Bolzi mentioned. No, it's really acquiring skills. If you have downtime, for example, or kaya pag na-lose streak kayo, no, mag-acquire na lang kayo ng skills. Learn as many skills as you can. And there are platforms naman that actually reward you by acquiring those skills. So parang you guys are being paid pa for doing so. And take that opportunity while it's there, no. So that's really one. Number two is try to contribute, no, to as many communities or as to many games as you can. And what do I mean by that? Participate to their campaigns, provide feedback about their game, or maybe create content about their game. And eventually, once that's seen by, say, for example, the game developers or by the organization, eventually, no, opportunity will knock on your door, and then allow you to as well to again, no, convert your playing time into something na mas sustainable, no? And then eventually will allow you to actually, take on different roles as well, no? So one way to start it, for example, if you want to take on a leadership role and you're a gamer, is try to build, your own community. So maybe that's also one thing that you can look into, or try to champion a specific, cause or a specific campaign or a specific, project within your own community. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a big project, for example, as simple as like, say a group of, Discord moderators managing them. I think that alone will already, should be already sufficient, no, in terms of, taking on different roles in Web3.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Fee. And yes, I guess you plug it in. You said champion of a project. Why don't you also check out the Coins Champions community? And you can be just like Bulls, So I guess he also wants to step up into more roles. So what a perfect way to also check out more roles in the Web3 space dito sa local scene with us, no? So thanks for that, Fee. And I guess back to you, Bulls, So I guess the next talking point that I'd like also is, people go from players to builders. And, you also want to evolve the Web3 ecosystem. So I guess what are some ways that players can, co-create or influence yung mga direction ng games beyond just giving feedback? And Fee also mentioned kasi creating content. So I think that's also very important when you're in the Web3 space, is that attention. So ikaw, Bulzy, maybe what are some ways that, players can co-create yung direction for these games, because it's a lot of community involvement also sa Web3 games.
I agree po dun sa sinabi ni Sir P na content creation, and I also think the same one. And content creation in Web3 is not just all about creating videos or something. It's about creating contents, either text that can impact the Web3 gaming space. So at first ako personally, and nag-start ako as maliit lang as gamer ng Web3. Na-onboard ako sa Web3 sa YGG, sa CLP. And over time, I learn. I learn from my friends na papasok ako sa voice channel sa Discord, then they'll teach me about what is GAP, what is Web3, what are these tokens, yan, mga ganyan. And sa ganung kaliit na interaction, mas natututo ako, and I think the most important part is communication and relationship with people in the X space, in the Web3 space. To be specific, sa Twitter or X dyan talaga maraming Web3 communities. Marami ngayon na lumalabas na mga nakakausap natin, ganyan. I suggest na doon tayo rin may pag-interact para mas matuto tayo, kasi marami talaga doon na Web3 gamers, and makakausap natin sila from other countries, ganyan. So, mahalaga ang network and communication and relationship. Ayan po yun. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Boozy. Yes, communication and interaction is super important. Sophie, I also would like to ask you, so some ways that players, especially in your own community, then how do they, influence the direction of the games that you also work with?
Mm. So the good thing about Web3 gaming now is a lot of these games are building in public. So when I talk about building in public, they take into consideration the gamers, the community into account in terms of building the game loops, in terms of shaping the roadmap, in terms of thinking about or curating their tokenomics or their monetization model, for the gamers. So that's the beauty about Web3 gaming. Although that's also not absolute. No. There are definitely several ways to co-create or to help inspire the game developers in building the game. So one could be either buying their tokens, no, or could be also buying the NFTs. Those are actually things that will allow you to further influence as well, the games that you play. Second would be again, being proactive about giving your feedback. So, for example, in YGG, one of the programs that we do is called the game testing program. And for the game testing program, again, basically we test the games and then we create a feedback loop, to the games in terms of what works, what does not work, what are the things that may require more improvement, what are the things that maybe can be pushed back, and then propose what could be prioritized, given the game, the market condition, given what type of like game loops that would work for the community. So there are really different ways, to be able to really participate here. And good thing again in Web3 game is that you can easily reach out to the game developers, and like in Web2, normally us Web2 players only get to talk to marketing agencies, to content creators. But here you get to talk directly, to founders, to game developers and stuff. So yeah, those are ways that we can do. If you want to be able to participate and contribute or influence some of the games right now in Web3 gaming, you can actually do that by joining our game testing program, and even in our marshals program now.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, check out the game testing program and game testers program. And I think that you mentioned open feedback, no feedback loops, because these games like to build in public. So I think that's really important, especially because in Web3, when you get to talk directly to the team members, that makes that communication and interaction that I think Bruzy also mentioned, more direct. And you can build that relationship more directly with the people building the game. So thanks for that, Fee and Bruzy. And I guess for our last question, I think I'm a bit choppy. There, okay, I'm back. I guess, Bozy, I'd like to ask you before we move on to our community questions. So, what kinds of contributions from gamers actually make a difference in Web3 beyond just playing the game? So, ties in with our previous question of, if you want to turn your passion into a portfolio, what should they showcase? So, what contributions make that difference?
Personally, I think just being a Web3 gamer in Web3 is a big impact in making the Web3 ecosystem different. Yeah. And just by showing up in our Web3 communities is a very important part of Web3 ecosystem because it continuously runs the program, it engage the audience. Excuse me. You engage the audiences and yeah, not just by playing game. There's something beyond that. Let's break that barrier na hindi lang ang Web3 is puro laro. Yeah, we build career here in coins.ph also na we train champs like me to nurture ourselves not just by gaming but by hosting, by back-end streaming and by community management. So there's something more than being a Web3 gamer.
All right, thanks, Boozy. Yes, just showing up, I guess is also important. In like community events like these, showing up also means that you're visible, you're exposed, and you're a part of the community that's building for the space. So, Boozy, thank you, and Fee, I guess contributions, no. So you mentioned you have your game testers, the content creators. So, what other kinds of contributions do you think makes a difference also for Web3 gaming?
Yeah. Siguro just to add on that na lang, no, I think one thing that would really make a difference, in Web3 ecosystem is sharing the opportunities to your friends and families. So obviously, like, again, Web3 gaming has unlocked many opportunities for all of us. And I think one way to like really create a difference is by sharing those opportunities, no? Especially to people who may have not yet discovered this, for maybe because they don't have access to this kind of information or to this kind of technology, no? And that's why, for example, here at YGG, Sam is a YGG, we're really championing this new movement called the Metaverse Filipino Worker. Basically, anyone who works digitally, makes a living online, no? We call them Metaverse Filipino Worker. And the way we're doing it now is we're actually going to different locations across the entire Philippines to provide these different opportunities, no? Not just in Web3 gaming, but even in AI or in the entire Web3 ecosystem, no? So I think that's something that I can really share, no? Is again, extend these opportunities, no, to people that you think may need it, no, extend it to people who may have not known what opportunities do we have here, and introduce them, no, to platforms that will allow them to get themselves upskilled, connect them to guilds and communities that will help them navigate the space, no. And I think that's really something that will make a difference for every Filipino, no, in the Philippines.
Awesome. Yeah. Sharing it with your friends and family, sharing the opportunities, spreading the word is super important. So, thank you for that. And I guess what we can do now is move on to some of our questions from the community. So, I have some questions here from our Facebook Live. And if your question is chosen, we'll be sending prizes straight to your coins wallet. So, send in your questions if you haven't already. And I guess bubunutin ko na yung first question natin from the comment section. So, for our first question for Fee and Boolzi from our questions on Facebook Live. I like this one. No? So, beginner friendly tayo. From Jimmy Mirabuna, they ask, what's the first thing you teach someone who's new to crypto gaming? So, siguro Boolzi, what's the first thing you would teach to someone na baguhan sa crypto gaming?
Um, First, I'll need to teach him muna na ano, yung background ng Web3. What is Web3? What are tokens? Ganyan. So, I'll explain that and maybe onboard him in games that is beginner friendly din, na hindi siya yung magugustuhan niya. Kailangan kasi ayon sa genre niya, kasi yung pinasok niya sa Web3 is games talaga. Ayan. So, I mean, what else?
All
You
right.
need, ano, I need, yeah.
Sige. Thanks, Boozy. Yeah, the background of Web3 is super important. I think you can't have the fundamentals and, of course, the tech and understanding that without progressing into more niche things like gaming. So, Fee, how about you? The first thing you'd teach to someone that new sa crypto gaming?
First thing, no. Well, maybe not first thing, but maybe one of the things that I'll help guide, this person who's new to crypto gaming is to really explore new skills, no. Because games are just gonna be there. Hindi naman mawawala yung games. But what's more important is acquiring, skills early on. So that way, no matter what type of games you play, no, even if mag-lose streak ka dyan or mag-win streak ka dyan, at least, no, you get to still acquire new skills and apply it, no, to future opportunities that may come in, no. And again, those can be Discord moderation, social media management, and so on. And I think that's very important because you're future-proofing yourself, and then at the same time, it allows you to really augment, no, yung income mo at the moment.
Awesome. Thank you, Fee. And thank you, Jimmy, for your question. So our next question from FB Live. So I like this one also. Abuzi, I put you back up here. Jacob Peterson, they ask, what are the key crypto skills no, every Web3 gamer should learn first? So I guess Fee also mentioned skills. Also to tie in with that. No? So Buzi, what key skill no, would you want every gamer to know first?
Since given na rin ang gaming skills, the key crypto skills that every gamer should learn first is kailangan nilang maintindihan ang market, to understand the market, na hindi sa lahat ng oras is laging nasa taas, hindi lahat ng nasa oras is mababa, ganyan. So, market is volatile. So is crypto. And, and I just want to break the idea that crypto is a scam, sugal. Ayan. So, hindi siya, it's not like that. When you deep dive into crypto and you understand that it's more than money, it's more than the tokens. It's about the ecosystem that how crypto works, how amazing crypto works.
All right. Yes, I agree. The market skills and charting is also very helpful because my value pa rin, yung tokens that you earn. And learning how to understand how that value goes up and down is key also to staying in the space, I guess, longer. So thanks, Boolzi. Fee, key skill that a gamer should learn first.
I think there's really no definite answer to this, no, in terms of what kind of skills they should learn first. It really depends on what are the things that they want to learn first, or what are the things that they want to become, or what are the things that they want to achieve in Web3 gaming. So, for example, if you want to progress as a content creator, no, and you learn how to set up a page, no, how to create your first contents, no, or for example, if you want to explore more on like the trading side, no, so that's those are the things that you can also learn from different experts, although be careful on those things. So it really depends on what you want to achieve, and we have them in different organizations or platforms that will help you guide you there, no. So for anyone who wants to further figure out what else they can do in Web3, just reach out to us in YGG. You can go to discord.gg / YGGPH, and our community manager should be able to help navigate further.
Awesome. Thank you, Jacob, for that question. And I guess for our third question, I like this one from Eri Guerra. So, Bulzi, a bit of a fun question. Oh. If you could build your dream Web3 game, what would it look like and what features would it have?
So it's a good question. See, personally, Web3 games, ang gusto kong mabuild is more on MOBA games like ML, League of Legends because doon ako lumaki, doon ako kumbaga na on board sa gaming through MOBA. So I want to build something like that na it doesn't stress the players to play even when losing. Uh, there's something like what you call this? Like in crypto, there's something like stop loss and UTP. Like paano ba 'to? Na ano, yung tuloy-tuloy ka pa rin maglaro. May-enjoy mo siya. In terms of parang mafe-feel mo na parang bumabalik ka sa Web 2 kahit Web 3 game siya. You enjoy as you earn. Ayun yung game na gusto kong ma-build sa Web 3.
All right, Bulzi, thank you. And Fee, if you could build a Web3 game of your choice, what would it look like and features it would contain?
So I've been playing games since I was in fifth grade, and I'm 30 now. So you can see how old I am. I mean, in terms of like playing games now. And one thing that I'd really love to build if given a chance are really MMORPG. So I'm a huge MMORPG player. I used to own guilds in the past, back in early 2006, 2007, 2008. I played like, for example, Ren Online, Ragnarok, Life, those kind of games. If any of you know remember those games, so it's MMORPG that I'd like to build. And the reason why I really love MMORPG, because again, no, it's a role-playing game. For example, in a guild or in a party, you take on different roles. So you can be either a mage, you can either be a swordsman, you can either be an archer, a healer, no, a buffer. And each role have different purpose, no, in terms of how they can contribute to the team or how can they, build their own family. And that's why I really love it because it's also like similar to how we're set up right now in Web3 gaming, right? So in Web3 in general, so we take on roles, for us to be able to contribute, to our community. For example, I do business development, so I help, our organization and the games to further build their their presence in the Philippines. Boolzi, for example, is a community manager or an esports player maybe, and he's taking on that role. No? And then you as well, Jaffa. No? So it's MMORPG that I really love doing. And maybe if there's one feature that I would really love to have there is being able to port items from one MMORPG to another. I think that's really, really cool. And although it's hard to achieve right now, I don't know how to do that. Where you can retain the value of that, item, for example, from one game to another. But that's something that I'd love to explore. And hopefully, Web3 gaming will be able to unlock that.
Awesome. Yeah, I love MOBAs and MMOs. So imagine if there's something that combines both. That'd be cool. So Eri, thank you for that question. No, I guess the next question I'd also like to pick is from Jev Edward J Jamora, and they ask, no. So Boolzi, I'll ask you. It's the biggest lesson Web3 gaming has taught you, whether about money, patience, or people. Biggest lesson, Boolzi. Go.
My biggest lesson in Web3 throughout my experience here in space is um, be consistent. Uh, which is every time you do something, you do it for a cause. And that cause, do it every day. Don't stop. Kasi ang consistency, it really builds your identity na and your skills kasi hindi natin masasabing natutunan natin isang bagay if hindi tayo consistent na gawin yun. So, kailangan natin ng consistency. Also about, in terms of money, na hindi laging may pera sa Web3. Hindi naman laging wala rin. So, you need to balance. You need financial management. You need to learn about that. And sabi nga nila sa Web3 and crypto, marami nasusunugan, ganyan. So, they learn from experience. Pero, not naman na na kailangan nyo masunugan or what. So, you learn from their experience. You research and you utilize that experience. Ayun lang po.
Buzzy, thank you. Yes, be consistent. And I like what you said also if doing it for a cause. Kinwote kita kanina about like when you do it for a cause, you're doing it for something bigger also. So I like that takeaway from you. All right, Fee, biggest lesson that Web3 gaming has taught you. And since you're with YGG, I think this is going to be a good insight from you also.
Yeah, I can't really think of the biggest lesson, but maybe one of the most important lessons that I've learned, in Web3 is really learning how to let go and moving on. Especially in Web3, it's very volatile. No, we cannot really predict what's the market condition going to be like tomorrow, no, or in the next coming days or next coming weeks, no. And obviously, token prices go down or sometimes they go up as well, no, depending on the market condition. Really, a lot of the games right now are still new, where some of them may, not continue to build, the game for whatever reasons, no, that they have. Some of the projects we may not see anymore. Well, some may come back, no. And I think, after how many years in the industry, I've really learned how to let go and move on and not focus too much, on what you lost. It's good to learn on those things. It's always best to learn on those things. But I guess, it's just really a matter of moving on and taking those learnings with you, as you move forward. I think that's one of the most important lessons, that I've learned in this space. Even with the people that you hang out with, even the people that you work with, even the first few people that you met, people come and go as well, especially in this space. And again, it's okay, if we lose them or we lose opportunities, in the process. But again, learn from those and then move on and then live the present. So I think those are things that I can share now.
Awesome. Thanks, Fee. Yeah, let's go and move on. Hugot yun, but then like, I guess it's important to be able to move on also. Um, Thank you for that. I guess one last question, siguro from the community. Like, I'd like to choose. No, is this one. So this one probably Um, Good question. The feel good for everyone. So, Boolzi, I'd like to ask this from you. Know so from JV Ilagan, they ask, what makes gamers uniquely positioned to influence or lead the future of Web3 gaming experiences?
As for the question is, what gamers uniquely positioned, and I think to lead the gaming community of Web3 is a very big task, and ano na lang, for the individual na do to continue to do your thing, to play games, to give feedbacks will help the Web3 gaming, and eventually it will lead to something greater na the Web3 games are expanding from throughout the country, throughout the world, and you can onboard new players. So by doing the minimal that each of us can contribute, we contribute to a bigger cause. Yeah.
Thank you, Boolzi. I really like how you're very cost-oriented. No? Good leadership trait din yan is being cost-oriented. So, Boolzi, thank you. And Fee, what makes gamers uniquely positioned to influence and be their own leaders, especially here in the Web3 gaming space?
So I guess no, we're early adopters though. We're very much early in the space, and I think that alone itself though is a unique position for us to be in. No, and again, no, like what I mentioned earlier, having more skills, being knowledgeable in as many things as you can, and then being able to connect, actually, make friends, building your own network, will really help you, position yourself in terms of, being providing more influence, not just to the games, not just to the industry, but even to your family, to your friends, and the people that surround you. And I think those are the things that are very unique to us at least at the moment. So make sure na you take advantage of that in a good way. And again, no, do not forget to share those no, to the rest of your family, friends again, and other communities.
All right. T, thank you so much. And I guess I'd like to bring Boozy back on stage and ask you, Boozy. So thank you so much for taking time also to join us for tonight. What's your closing message for the community on this discussion that we had on leveling up yung Web3 gamers crypto skill set natin? So closing message for the community.
First of all, I want to thank you, Sir Japa, and thank you, Sir P, for having me here. And it's nice to have a talk with you too. Yeah. And to our community out there. And thank you for attending this community Thursday. And hopefully we got more screen time to come. And also, I want to introduce again myself. I'm Boolzi from Silpia Academy. And you can follow my socials, Boolzi_SPY on Twitter.
All right, Boozy, thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to your growth also. As a professional also in Web3 if ever. So thank you, Boozy and Fee. Closing message for our coin community audience for tonight.
Yeah, so market is down. There are games that are not playable, no. We're still very early. So again, try to find other things na you can enjoy. Like for example, right now, as you can see in my background, those are actually paddle rackets, no. So currently, I just actually finished paddle here in Arcovia. So I do this for me to get distracted from the market condition, and I think it's really good to find other ways that you can do, that you can enjoy. So that way, again, you're not really stuck, with the current situation that we're in right now. And also, be with your friends, be with your family. Huwag kayo masyadong magkulong sa mga kwarto ninyo, sa mga computer ninyo, unless that brings you joy, no? But I think right now this is really important for us to connect more to our friends, to our families, to do other things that would bring us joy. May it be going out, watching a movie, reading books, playing pickleball or paddle ball, for example. Anything that you can do. And for those who want to play with me, just let me know. Send a message on the comment section. I'm happy to play with you guys. I play here in Arcovia. It's called Manila Paddle Club. So yep, check it out.
Awesome.
And
Keep
don't
an eye.
forget, I'm sorry, don't forget to acquire new skills. While the market is down, it's best time to acquire new skills. Check out Metaversity. We have programs ready for you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, check out the Marshall's program, no? And I guess today I learned na may paddle din pala dun sa Arcovia. So maybe I'll check that out. So Boolzi and Phee, thank you so much for joining us for our AMA, no, on leveling up Web3 gamers crypto skill set. I hope our audience for tonight learned something new from one of our own coins champs and of course one of the team members from IGG Pilipinas. It's been a pleasure. I'm JC Cadiz or Jaffa. I'm the community manager for coins.ph. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you all again on another Coins AMA and live stream next week on Wednesday. So kita-kits mga kaibigan, ingat and stay safe out there habang down si markets. I'll see you guys. We'll see you all around the metaverse. Thank you guys. Good evening and see you around. Bye-bye.